Hi, we're Jennie and Lynn Owens, and we're spending the year rejuvenating through full-time RV living. We get a lot of questions about why we're doing what we're doing, but maybe the most common question we get is,
what's your favorite place? What's the favorite place you've been to?
And the answer may be pretty surprising.
We are at the Gordon Bubolt's Nature Preserve, and it is absolutely gorgeous.
You know, we're looking for beauty on this trip, and we've been to some very beautiful places, and we've been to some
not so beautiful.
But we still enjoyed because of the adventure.
Yeah, so actually one of our favorite places to go, we spent a week in Disney. We're actually heading to Texas. It was just really, the travel was getting to our little guy and Sebastian, yeah. And so we decided, you know what, we stopped right around Joshua Tree, and finally we thought, you know what, let's just explore more in this area, because we don't have to be anywhere at any specific time right now. We could be wherever we want to be. So,
and I had been really looking forward to boondocking. Sebastian, he really wanted to swim. He likes the beach, and so we started looking around, and you know, Joshua Tree, we were right there at Joshua Tree. Yeah. So we pulled out Google Maps and we looked for lakes nearby, and we opened up some of our favorite camping websites like Campendium, and started looking for maybe places that we could boondock in the area that would have a lake nearby.
And the one that we found was the Salton Sea.
Now, we never heard of it before, but
never heard of it.
Largest lake in California. Sounded like it was a good idea. Swimming, mountains, beautiful, boondocking, we'll all be happy.
On the way there, I kept seeing these big, like huge areas with palm trees, and several of them had signs that said medjool dates, and so it was really fun to see where they were.
This is in the middle of all this desert. There's just these beautiful groves of palm trees. We are at the Salton Sea.
Salt is a very good word for it.
Yeah, kind of gross. Like right now we're walking through the corpses of dead fish that died from the high salinity here, and lots of barnacles.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. It looks like sand, I guarantee it's not.
It's it's like little...
It's sharp little piercing bones that would get right into your feet.
And the dogs, I don't know if you can see in my hand, but the dogs, like their poor feet, they're like digging it out of them. Their feet all the time, but we did hit it.
Oh, wait a minute, let me see that. Dead fishes. Ugh. But honestly, it's nice. It was $10 to just park here. They warn us that there's high salinity in the water, and also that this place is just all the runoff from all the farms nearby, so it's full of pesticides. But they tell us right now it's not too bad. We're going to brave it because we'd like to. Yeah,
the ranger stopped by, and he said that most of the pesticides get stopped at the mouths or whatever.
And also that there's been a lot of rain lately, so it's pretty clear water. Sometimes it's not. So we got here a good time. It doesn't stink, which it usually does, and there's no floating bodies of dead fish, which in the past there has been. And so we're just enjoying it. We love it because
we're almost alone.
We're alone. You can see the park behind us. We're pretty much just us and like one or two more people. But it's been quiet, beautiful views, great sunsets. So at least for right now, we love it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that we're taking it slower, because I mean, as much as I'd like to go to Texas, I think it was a really fun stop that we would have missed.
There's a lot of birds, and literally there's so many that I was walking outside, one of them pooped on my hand. That pretty much sums up how we feel about swimming in the Salton Sea. It's really disgusting. I don't know, lots of algae, but also lots of bird poop, and it's just no way we're getting in. And so,
I'm just gonna use my plane again. Go! Who's gonna push me?
Push you. Who is gonna push you? Go. Nudge, go. Bye-bye, Bastion. Sailing off into the Salton Sea.
So, you know, after we find this place and find all this fish bones and barnacles and stuff, we started doing some research and discovered that it was accidentally, the sea itself was accidentally made.
Yeah, engineers were trying to get agricultural water for irrigation down into that area from the Colorado River. In Yuma, it all broke through, and so basically for about 2 years, much of that time, the Colorado River was pouring into the salt basin down there and filled up what is now the Salton Sea.
In the 40s and 50s, there were a bunch of big boom towns that came up around the Salton Sea because it was really the largest body of water in California.
Yeah, it became a really popular tourist destination, and so tourists flooded there, and some of these towns sprouted up. Developers looked at that and said, there's money to be made here, so they started buying up plots of land and they started developing them as if these cities were going to be built. And then what happened was, the Salton Sea is way below sea level, and so water flows in, but no water flows out except through evaporation. So the mineral content started getting higher, and the salinity went up about 3% per year until the fish started just dying off. And these massive amounts of dead fish would roll up onto the seashore and would stink really bad. And I think that had a little bit of a deterrent on tourism at that time.
Sure. 30 minutes?
So we just thought, we were looking for things to do because Sebastian was really unhappy about not being able to swim. So all the pools were closed. There were some hot springs nearby, but you had to be at the RV park to use them. And then there was Slab City Hot Springs, which is kind of an open hot springs that you can go to. But let's just say it's not terribly kid-friendly from what we saw and heard online.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that we found, these ghost towns, we thought we'd look at them. There was one that was about 20 to 30 minutes away from us, so we drove there. And, well, let's just...
Again, we didn't know what to expect.
I don't know how to describe it.
We were in Bombay Beach, California. So we thought we'd explore around these towns because we heard that they were thriving in the 50s and 60s, but kind of had sort of become modern day ghost towns. So we just thought we'd take a look at an empty town. I don't know what to think of this place. It's like the zombie apocalypse happened and everything's here but the zombies.
Are we gonna make it out alive? Like, are we gonna die here? Because, yeah, we just half expected to see zombies coming out of the houses.
I honestly don't know whether to run or to take more pictures.
I know. It's really interesting.
What happened to this place?
That's a great question. I think that people just stopped coming here because the lake became kind of stinky and horrible to swim in, and all the fish died and the birds died, and so nobody wanted to come anymore.
No.
You don't think that's what happened?
What do you think happened?
Maybe some house, maybe some lamppost died, and some fish died, and some seagulls died, and nobody wanted to come out here.
Oh, because all the fish and the lampposts died, and the seagulls? Oh, okay.
That's a good theory. Do you think we should move here? Maybe we can come live here.
I saw realty for sale.
Yeah. So, this is a nice place to visit, but you know I wouldn't want to live here.
I don't want to go in a spooky house and destroy everything.
Again, me either.
Or not pigeons in my, maybe not pigeons in my house and squawk.
Hey Bastion,
Huh?
can you tell the people what was on that house?
A cow.
Why was the cow on the house?
Maybe somebody put it up there and keep it safe.
Maybe someday you want a cow on your house?
No.
There seems like there's a few like actual people who live here that have formed normal houses and more normal looking, and I wonder if they get really sick of
People coming
through and taking pictures of all the weird stuff. So we left and did a lot of research on what it was, and because I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, we really were like, this is too weird. Yeah, we know zombies don't exist, but if they did, like, that's where they would live.
It turns out what happened was, you know, during the boom periods, these towns grew up, and then they just slowly died off, and as the property values went down, it cost more to repair them than they could sell the properties for, so the properties were abandoned and foreclosed on. But there was kind of a rush when you realized that you could buy a house on a lot for $800 at auction. There were a number of people that came to town, and these were generally artists, and they, I guess they got into town and they decided to use it as a playground to express their art. And so you'll see these really unusual and amazing,
yeah.
I don't even know what to call them, sculptures or displays of art that are just fun.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, just completely amazing. And a lot of it you could tell they just took stuff that they'd found, like junk, and just made it into something beautiful. Oh no, did he burn off the tops?
They burned off the tops.
The dragon did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of fun to find something off the beaten path that was just unusual. Something that you don't see every day.
Right. So, what I like about the Salton Sea, if you're inside your RV looking out through the window, and the weather's nice and the wind is not blowing in the wrong direction.
You're not smelling dead fish.
It's really very beautiful, you know, and quiet, and there's not a lot of people there. And so in that sense, it's a very nice place to be alone.
Yeah. Now the question is, would you go back? So would you go back? Having already seen it, would you go back?
There's a long list of things I would do before that, I guess I should say.
Now, I will say I'm glad that we went.
Absolutely.
I feel like we were there 3 days. Now, maybe I wouldn't do it as a 3-day trip or something. I might do it as like a day trip. You know, just go see the Salton Sea, walk out on those dead fish bones, look at the water, go to Bombay Beach. But, you know, would I spend a week vacationing there? No. But I have to say it's one of the most, it's really on the top of my list as far as favorite places that we've seen, just because it was so unusual and so fun. One of the things that we were really looking for is adventure on this trip, and I feel like this really fit that. I mean, it was just so much fun to see this unusual place. Because
we didn't know anything going in, what it was going to be like, and we just spent time learning and discovering while we were there. And that was really pleasant.
Yeah. So if you've enjoyed following our adventures so far, subscribe down below and you can continue following us.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.